my channel. My name is Taj Yutsi and I'm a certified financial coach. I'm also the founder of True Financial Coaching, where our mission here is to help you to invest in yourself. The way we do that by educating you, enlightening you, and equipping you with the financial literacy that is needed in order to get off the rat wheel. The rat wheel is when one is constantly financing objects that go down in value for them, but up in value for the banks. Now the wheel, it only powers as long as the rat is constantly moving. So as long as one is constantly financing these depreciating objects, then the wheel will constantly turn. Once one stops financing objects that go down in value, then the rat wheel stops. And then that individual can become free to do what they want when they want, instead of having to do the things that they don't want. Today's video, I want to just give you, a little update on my sabbatical. At this present moment, I'm on this 1-year sabbatical, actually 15 months to be exact. I'm in month 11, so I have 4 more months to go to finish before I go back to work. So I started this sabbatical in June of 2023, and the sabbatical has, been life-changing. And I started the sabbatical with the intentions of doing what I'm doing now. I wanted to create my own financial coaching service to help people experience the freedom that I'm experiencing during this sabbatical. But, the only reason that I was able to take this sabbatical is because I didn't have any debt. That's the only reason. As I mentioned before, I'm a school teacher, and I've been teaching for 24 years. And for most of those years, I was living paycheck to paycheck. And I was earning good money, during the early stages of my career, and even, now earning good money. But still, I was living paycheck to paycheck. It was times when I ran out of money before the month was over. I had more month than I had money. So I couldn't understand. Why this was, seeing that I had a nice income. I would get raises. Couldn't understand why this was, why am I still living paycheck to paycheck? And as I mentioned before, it wasn't until COVID that I really woke up to see, oh, this is why. Debt. And seeing that debt is such a common thing, we as individuals accept that this is normal. And it's not normal. Because a thing is common doesn't mean that it's normal. And debt is not a normal thing, but it is very common. 7 out of 10 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And it doesn't matter your income. 6-figure earners. We look at individuals that earn 6 figures as that's their status, a high status, making 6 figures. I done made it. But you have 6-figure earners that are living paycheck to paycheck. So it doesn't matter the income, because debt is a colorblind slave master. The reason why I say that is because when one is in debt, that debt keeps them in bondage. It keeps them in bondage to a job that they may not enjoy doing. It keeps them in bondage to that depreciating object. And it keeps them in bondage to the banks. So debt doesn't care what the color of your skin is. And I often think about this because slavery, natural slavery in America ended 1863. And the reason why I say it ended is because it really didn't end. It just transformed. Instead of physical slavery, now I'm just dealing with finances. But instead of physical slavery, it's now transformed into a mental and psychological slavery. And the way this has been accomplished is with debt. So again, debt keeps one in bondage to their jobs, keeps one in bondage to depreciating objects, and keeps them in bondage to the banks. And I say this because, again, I was a slave. And that's why I couldn't, get ahead, because I didn't know I was a slave. And that's the best type of slave to have, one that doesn't even know they're a slave. I often think about Harriet Tubman, and many of you may be familiar with U.S. history, but Harriet Tubman, she was well known for the Underground Railroad. And the Underground Railroad wasn't a literal Underground Railroad, but it was just a pathway that was used to transport enslaved Africans from their plantation as an escape route for them to leave the plantation to escape to freedom. And it was called underground because it was a hidden, unknown pathway. But Harriet Tubman is given a lot of credit for that movement, for that Underground Railroad. But one thing that she said, or is quoted for saying, is that she said, "I could have freed more of the enslaved Africans only if they realized that they were slaves." That's a powerful statement. She said, "I could have freed more of the enslaved Africans if they had only known they were slaves." The reason why that's a powerful statement is because in U.S. history, slavery was a very cruel period. Cruel physically, it was cruel mentally, cruel emotionally. But yet, despite the cruelties of slavery, many of these enslaved Africans thought that was just the way of life for them because it was so common. But that wasn't normal. And Harriet Tubman was unable to lead those enslaved Africans to freedom because they had accepted their condition. And that's how it is today. Many have accepted that debt is normal, and it's not. And as a result of individuals having accepted debt as being normal, they remain in prison, in bondage, and they can't experience the freedom that being debt-free offers. I say this because, again, this is how I was able to take a sabbatical. There's no way I could have taken a sabbatical with the amounts of debt that I had before I knocked it out. There's no way. And be at peace. Because I would have been worrying about how's this going to get paid? How's that going to be paid? How's this going to get paid? But I was able to take that sabbatical because all of my consumer debt outside of my mortgage. Consumer debt, credit cards, payday loans. Not that I had these, but credit cards, payday loans, financing furniture, financing cell phones, financing cars, student loans. It's keeping people in prison, in bondage. And I was able to take a sabbatical because I eliminated those debts in my life. During the sabbatical, I'm getting half of what I was earning while I was working. And, full disclosure, again, as a school teacher, I'm bringing home $5,300 a month. Okay, $5,300 a month. Some people, oh man, it's money, man. It's just money. But I was living paycheck to paycheck, earning, well, at the time, less than that. But people are earning more than that and still living paycheck to paycheck. But, when I was working, before I took the sabbatical, my last year before I took the sabbatical, earning $5,300 a month. Now, still, I was debt free making that. So I said, I'm going to just take this time off and work on self, do things, that I want to do for the church that I go to. Be there for my mother, who's going through some health issues. Be there for my family, to spend more time doing things with them and working on myself spiritually, physically. So took the sabbatical. Now I'm bringing home half of that. So you're looking at about $2,500 I'm bringing home a month. Going from bringing home about $5,300 a month to $2,500 a month. You would think, man, it's a big difference, man. How you doing that? No debt. Life is inexpensive when you don't have debt. When you're not constantly making payments. When you're not constantly, when you don't budget. When you can't save. Life is very inexpensive. And this is why I was able to take a sabbatical. I had no debt, bring home $2,500 a month, everything's still taken care of. I don't think about money. And I'm not rich. Just came into the knowledge of how to manage my money. And now this time off that I have on this sabbatical has been one of the greatest investments, the times that I've had, because I'm free. I'm getting, I still got to go back one more year, but I'm free to just wake up and do whatever I want to, whenever I want to. I wake up in the morning and I don't think about work for somebody else. I think about what I want to do for myself, working on myself, but I'm able to wake up, just do whatever I want to do that day. I can do it. If it's just wanting to sit around, and just chill, want to, go to the park, want to go out to lunch by myself, I do it. And I don't have to look at the time, man, I got 20 minutes left. On a 30-minute lunch break, I got 20 minutes. No, I gotta woof them. I get to take my time, relax, take my son to school. Why? Because I invested in myself. Like I said, my mother had health problems. I was able to take her back and forth to the hospital without worrying about taking a day off of work. Able to take her back and forth to her appointments and be there for her emotionally. And things I couldn't have done if I was still working. So I'm telling you, I'm tasting this freedom of not having a job, and it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. And everyone can experience this. Now, again, I'm not talking to those individuals that enjoy doing what they're doing. If you enjoy doing what you're doing, that's good. But the majority of people are at jobs they hate. And I'm not saying quit your job. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying invest in yourself so that you can do what you want when you want instead of not having to do the things you don't want to do. But again, this sabbatical has helped me to realize more that time is the most important thing. Owning the time in your life, not having a employer dictate your time is a beautiful feeling. Like I said, I do a lot of traveling, and I would travel and different places, then have to get back Sunday night late, early Monday morning, and then go to work. And now, I don't even think about it. Go travel, come back. It's like beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling to not have to worry about a job, not have to worry about how is this going to get taken care of, how that going to get taken care of. And again, I'm not rich. And like I said before, a lot of people think that you have to be rich to do these things or have the time in your life. No, you just have to be out of debt. Yes, you do build wealth. You want to build wealth, but you can't build wealth with mounds of debt keeping you down. I was thinking about how, going to work and just wondering, like, man, I can't do this till I'm 60, 63 or whatever, how old they say. And I always think that, like, there's no way I can do this for another 15 years to get a certain calculation number in order to retire. Like I said before, with teaching in Pennsylvania, they have this system where you have to have a certain number of years of service plus your age. Add that together, then you can get your full retirement or whatever. You can retire with full benefits. Some nonsense they just made up to keep people constantly working. And I will always think, like, man, I can't do this. But I didn't think it was a way out. I thought I had to. And I realized I don't have to do this till I'm 60. I don't have to do this till I'm 65, then retire and then enjoy life. No. I can retire whenever I want to. But I can't retire with mounds of debt. And this sabbatical is just giving me a taste of what it's like to just own the time in your life. And I'm going to say this, that once you taste it, you're going to do everything in your power to keep this. Because again, time is the most important commodity that we have. Most important commodity. Because it's so precious, once you lose it, you can't get it back. Money, you can use it, get it back. Gold, spend it, get it back. Silver, spend it, get it back. Time, you spend it, it's gone. And most people are spending their time working for someone else. And I'm not knocking a job. I'm not knocking the job. I'm just saying that you cannot experience freedom of doing what you want when you want if you have debt. And because that debt keeps you attached to a job. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you work on a job that you enjoy, go right ahead. Like I said, I enjoy teaching. I enjoy teaching. I love teaching. But I hate teaching something that kids ain't never going to use. I hate doing that. And I'm not happy doing that. And this is why during the sabbatical, I researched different financial literacy curriculums. And I found one that I think would be very, is a good, excellent one to be implemented in the schools. And I reached out to several principals and schools, to see if they'd be interested. And it's like they don't want to put this in the schools, and it makes me wonder, why not? It makes me wonder, why not? Why would you not want to have financial literacy taught in schools? Why would you not want that? It makes me wonder, is this all a part of the program to continue producing workers and not thinkers? Because that's what school is. School is like a prison. School is like a prison. It's like a prison. Look at some of these school buildings look like prisons, transporting kids on school buses that look like prison buses, teaching kids things they never gonna use in life. Just pumping them up with useless information, rote memorization, walking in single file lines and sitting in rows all day long, 8 hours. It's like almost like prison, man. It's ridiculous. They don't, and the financial literacy is not taught in the schools, but they have useless topics taught in schools that they're never going to use, the Pythagorean theorem and quadratic equation and all this other foolishness they never going to use, Shakespeare and whatever. Like, come on, like, what? But financial literacy, sorry, no. I've reached out to about 8, 9 schools, and none of them, maybe one, they already had one in place, cool. Other ones, they either didn't get back to me or said no. Sad, man. But that's the program. That's part of the program. You gotta want to be free. Like I said, Harriet Tubman said she could have freed more of the enslaved Africans if they only known they were slaves. If they only known they were in bondage. If they only known they were enslaved. It starts with the mind. Once you have a change of mind, you'll change your life. And that's what happened to me. COVID changed my whole perspective. And my life has been changed from a natural perspective, financially perspective ever since. And like I said, I gotta go back one more year, but that one more year is at least one more year. I gotta do that because I took a year off, so I gotta pay that back. But after that, I can choose whether to go back or not. And if I'm not able to teach financial literacy, I'm not going back after that one more year. But I've refused to sit being a part of a system that's teaching these kids useless information, that's programming them to be workers instead of thinkers, to constantly power the rat wheel. But I'm just talking, man. This is, just me just talking. But again, this freedom that I'm experiencing during the sabbatical is, man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And now that I tasted it, I can't go back. It's like being unplugged from the matrix. And now you see things for what they really are. And you see things for what they really are, and you can't go back. And if you choose to go back, it's because, you love being in bondage. You love being in bondage. But if you like that guy Cypher in the movie The Matrix, I love The Matrix, but Cypher in the movie The Matrix, he wanted to go back to the Matrix. And he knew that piece of steak wasn't real. He knew it wasn't real. But he still wanted to go back. And many people, they know that there's something wrong with the system, but they still want to partake in it. The system, the school system, the 40-hour work week, it's all a program. Once you break free from that program, and once you see what it really is, your whole life is going to change, man. My whole life has changed. And, I'm working on myself. I'm doing this sabbatical. I'm able to work on my health and take care of my body and my mind, the mental stress that I don't no longer have from a job. And even when I go back, my whole mindset is going to change. I'm going to be like a fish out of water at a job, at a 40-hour work week job. It's gonna feel like it's gonna feel like prison, yo. It's gonna feel like prison. It's gonna feel like prison. But I gotta do it for one more year. But then after that, it's my choice. It's my choice, and that's what being debt free. It provides you with choices. Provides you with choices where you can do what you want when you want instead of having to do what you don't want because you're forced to. So, once again, thank you for listening. I appreciate the support. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it if you like, share, leave a comment. And again, if you're ready to be free, if you're ready to invest in yourself, visit truefincoaching.com. Schedule your consultation and get on the journey of investing in yourself. Peace and blessings.